Hello, I'm Thor. This is a little story I wrote when I was teaching young children part-time in South Korea. It's called Mr. Dog Looks for Breakfast. So, Mr. Dog looks for breakfast. Mr. Dog woke up one spring morning. At dawn! He stretched his legs and wrinkled his nose. Then he sniffed the breeze. There were many interesting smells in the air. He could smell the mandu steaming in Mrs. Lee's kitchen. This made his tongue hang out, and he panted a little with pleasure. Presently, he caught another scent. It was that damned tabby cat. He frowned and growled deep in his throat. The silly thing was watching him for sure, hiding behind a fence or something. He looked around suspiciously, but the tabby was not to be seen. Mr. Dog remembered a scratch on his front leg from the sharp claws of Tabby. He growled again and licked the scratch morosely. Just then, something tickled inside his ear. He shook his head sharply, but the tickle didn't go away. Maybe it was a pesky ant. It wasn't fair. Why was life full of trouble? He began to whine and brush his ear with his right paw. The aroma from Mrs. Lee's kitchen drifted past his nose again. Yummy. He stood up and scratched the ground a little with his paws. It felt good. Then he trotted around to the back of the house, where he knew Mrs. Lee was cooking. Mr. Dog scratched at the back door eagerly and panted with anticipation. When Mrs. Lee opened the door, he wagged his tail in the friendliest way and gave a little bark to say hello. Mrs. Lee was in a bad mood. Her brow was dark. When she saw Mr. Dog, she gave a snort of anger. "You mangy mutt!" she shouted, picking up an old shoe and throwing it at him. The shoe caught Mr. Dog fairly on his snout. He yelped out in surprise and pain, then shook his head. It still hurt. Mrs. Lee was looking for another shoe to throw, so Mr. Dog hastily ran away with his tail between his legs. He began to whine softly again, looking fearfully over his shoulder. It wasn't fair. No breakfast this morning. Why was the world so cruel?